Hello and welcome to Cloud Forest Vibes. My name's Bobby, and this is how I grow orchids and carnivorous plants. Hello and welcome to Cloud Forest Vibes. Today's video is a long overdue look around. We're going to do a quick update on the Spiderfarmer SF-300. We're also going to do a quick update on the Spiderfarmer SF-1000. And we're going to take a very quick glance at a bunch of stuff in both the tent and the tank. Starting with the tank, actually. It's been a very, very long time. So that's that. Sorry for the lack of content lately, guys. I have been extremely busy. I've been house shopping and working full-time and doing all that, so it has really been quite draining and quite time-consuming. I've been looking for a place with more space to expand my setup and just my life in general. I really do need a bigger place, so that has been consuming quite a bit of my free time. So again, my apologies for the lack of uploads lately, but I swear it's for a good purpose. It will pay off in due time. So without further ado, let's get over here to the tank. Let's take a quick look at the grow light and everything inside. So here we are with the Spiderfarmer. Thank you, Sheila. Here we are with the Spiderfarmer SF-300 LED grow light, and it is still going strong. Everything in this tank is growing really nicely under it. I've got some really special new blooms to show you guys that we haven't seen for quite a while, never actually, from this plant, and all kinds of other updates and stuff. You're going to notice some changes. That's because I'm very behind in updating you guys on media experiments, issues that I've been having in here and all that, which is coming. We'll talk about that here in a moment, but let's stick to the plan for now. We'll get in here a little bit closer and take a look at some of these plants and some of the results we've had in the last 6 months now of using this awesome grow light. So as you can see, we're going to start up here at the top. All the Cuthbertsoni types and Cuthbertsoni proper are doing really nice. Even this little sad one over here in the corner that we got from Bulbaphyllum, it is still alive, it is still growing. It has lost probably 2/3 of the active growths on it. However, it's got about 3 canes that are, seemingly determined to grow on. The Dendrobium Rotostictum, it actually decided to open up a couple blooms for us here. The mature canes that I've grown this season, these big ones, they're starting to produce buds themselves. So here in the near future, this thing will be all blooms once again. I need to get on here and do some maintenance. I am going to do away with the live sphagnum moss. The plant doesn't seem to mind it. The hybrid types especially, they can tolerate growing a little bit more moist, it seems, but I have had some issues now long-term growing with the live sphagnum, so that's something we're going to address very shortly. The solution has been going to this. This is my Dendrobium Cuthbertsoni Red, I hate to say. Losing leaves. It had some root issues. The moss really started to go and I didn't catch it in time. So we have switched over to synthetic. It is producing a new growth and doing what it does. So hopefully I didn't set it back too bad. It's got some new roots coming. I think it's going to be okay. But what we're going to do is, just like this new arrival, which was supposed to be Dendrobium Cuthbertsoni pink, but that does not look like a pink flower. We'll see what happens. Sometimes bloomings are weird, but it is in bloom. It's growing really nicely. I put it directly on with the synthetic and it is going strong so far. I have not touched this little bicolor from Dexter Hodes yet, and the Mountain Magic White is blooming its little head off right now, and I haven't touched it either. It's doing well still on this live sphagnum moss. We have some updates on some new arrivals. This here is that Pteroceras semi-terretifolia. It is doing really well so far in the tank. I've got it here bare rooted. This root has started to produce a new tip on it, and it's got a new root just getting started here in this leaf joint. It's continued to push on and grow, and it's really not looking good, is it? It has continued to push on and grow, and I really am excited to see what happens with this thing long term. Really neat little plant. I cannot wait to see those blooms. As you see, it's growing up here really high underneath the Spiderfarmer LED. That's probably the closest plant to it. Being a Vandaceous type, it said it wanted really bright light. So the other advantage, it's a cool grower, so it's got this computer fan virtually directly above it, constantly providing cool air, cool little breeze. So this little plant down here is my Dendrobium Cyanum, another cool grower. I got that from Tarzan over the summertime, and it has just been growing its little head off. Really tough to bloom. They do like a really cold cool down at night. I have not been able to figure out that yet, but it is growing strong, so that is good news. Yeah, everything in this tank is really enjoying this light. The light is definitely not my issue. I've had a lot of media issues lately, so we're swapping out a lot of things, a lot of Lepanthes and things like that over to synthetic media, tree fern, and so on and so forth. So far it's going pretty well. The only thing I think is going to be a definite casualty, and this is a real sad loss, is this. This is my Bulbaphyllum tentaculiferum. That thing had been on its little mount for a couple years, and the moss just went so fast. The plant started to go downhill, and I tried to take it off, and I've put it on this piece of tree fern with live moss, but I just don't know. We're going to give it some more time. Hopefully it pulls through, but I really think that we are going to lose that plant, I hate to say. Having that said, it scared the living bejesus out of me. Sorry. So I have been on a rampage lately. I've been taking lots and lots of plants, lots of Lepanthes, and putting them on synthetic. All my new arrivals are going on synthetic. All these new ones from Tarzan, you may haven't even seen yet, they are going on synthetic. And that is that. I am virtually done with zombie moss, and I really do hope that this synthetic stuff works out. So far, it's doing great in the tent. I have not had it on stuff in here long enough to really accurately judge it, but I can say it seems to be doing well so far. Anyhow, that's that. Before we get out of here, we've been dancing around them. I do have some blooms we need to share. This little beauty is my Masdevallia Winlandiana. This is the bigger of the two divisions, and it finally has decided to grace us with some awesome little blooms. I'm gonna have to put pictures up of these. They are way too small to get you guys a good, shot on video, but nice little showing. We've got 4 open so far, and lots more to come, so I'm hoping they hang in there. Remember them being about 3 weeks, lasting 2 to 3 weeks the first time I had this plant and managed to bloom it, but we will just have to see. But beautiful little plant, and I cannot wait to share some awesome pictures with you, which hopefully I should be able to do now in the transition between the tank and the tent. So enjoy, and when we come back we will be over in the tent to discuss everything over there, starting with the SF-1000. So we'll have a nice blinding quick look at the SF-1000 LED grow light real quick. It is still positioned on the bright side of my tent here. I'll zoom out so you can see that a little bit better. So over here in the Cattleya corner, as we'll call it, and really is a neat light so far. It's really done a great job of providing some really good bright light. I'm still debating whether I'm going to keep it here or whether I'm going to hang it centrally and put the other light back on this side, but so far I really do like the way that this setup has been working. Let's get inside here and take a look. Now, working our way in from the outside, you'll notice some obvious quick changes. This new fan, we'll talk about that. I got a new grow fan, or circulation fan for the grow tent, I should say. It's doing great. This thing has really been great. I've moved the orientation of my hanging shelf. It was hanging, long ways this way. I have turned it in the middle. Now it is hanging this way, And the main reason I'm doing that is because this time of year I get lots and lots of bright full sun through that window in the morning time. That is one of the main things I use to provoke my, cane resting type dendrobiums and cattleya types and other things on that back wall that we can't really see too well right now, to bloom and do well. It's a nice little jump in light for them, and it really does help. So that's one thing we will discuss here in a minute. Looking around, as you can see on that back side, you know what, let me do something. Let me get some of these plants out of our way. I will be right back. Alrighty, that is much better. We have now moved all those little hanging obstructions. So we will climb in and we will take a nice closer look at some of these plants on this back wall. Now all these plants are directly under that Spiderfarmer light, and as you can see, it is just bright as bright can be. They're loving it. They're growing strong. I've even got some new blooms. This is supposed to be Dendrobium violaceum blue. I believe it's violaceum pink. The flowers are just a beautiful shade of pink. I cannot get it out right now. You guys are just going to have to take my word for it, and I will throw up a couple really nice pictures on the screen so we can keep moving. Another plant that is in bloom over here doing really well, unexpectedly I may say, is this awesome little Barcaria Palmeri. It has started to fade some of its blooms already, but this has been a gorgeous little fun treat to have. Again, I've got some really great pictures. I will throw them up as well so we can keep everything moving. Lots of new plants have arrived, to be honest, and you guys haven't seen them yet. I've got a bunch of new little Vandaceous types. Yes, it's really that purple. I had this directly under the Spiderfarmer, so that's a good example. I said, it's Vandaceous, it's going to really like bright light, and it does, but I had it a little bit too high, so we have a lot of anthocyanin, but it's producing some new roots. It's on this cork stick. This is a piece of new media. I guess we should talk about that. It's on this cork round. I'm trying this out, give the roots a nice place to ramble everywhere they want, with one little piece of that synthetic moss on it. It holds just enough moisture for about a day, and then it dries out. I leave it dry for better part of a day or so, and go from there. The tree fern experiments have been going exceedingly well. This is a great example. I'm going to do a video on all of the new medias and stuff separately from this one, but just to give you guys a couple nice examples, this is that Leptodes unicolor that I got from Tarzane several months back. I put it on this little thin piece of tree fern that came on a Bulbaphyllum plant, and it has really taken off. I've got roots growing all the way through it. I let it dry out completely. All that moss that you see on this mount right now, that is natural. That has just made its way onto it. The moss seems to absolutely love tree fern. So I've got, media on there. I've got living media, epiphytic moss. It came naturally, and the plants that are doing well with it so far really are doing quite well with it. I've got lots of other examples. Let's see if we can dig another one out. So this plant here, this is my Dendrobium Rotostictum that I got from Andy's. You guys have seen this plant a few times. It is still growing strong. It's doing its thing, but I believe that might be its terminal leaf finally. So slowing down for sure. It'll be losing leaves hopefully in the near future and blooming in the spring or summer. But you guys may have seen this on Instagram a little while ago. That is how we're doing with our new medias. I absolutely love this synthetic stuff. It takes moss as well. It will start growing live epiphytic moss. The tree fern, it just, moss sprouts up all over it. But more importantly, the roots absolutely love both medias. I've got roots growing plumb through it. They will find a way, guys. Dendrobiums, cattleyas, everything that has touched this media so far has flourished. I really do like it. It's been a fantastic replacement for the best grow zombie moss. As you see, the plants are doing fantastic, and just the root systems that they are forming on this stuff is phenomenal to me. Now, if you are unfamiliar with the start of this, go back to my tree fern videos, check them out, and you'll see how all of this started. Joe gave me a bag of this stuff, this yarn that is synthetic sphagnum. So all this stuff has really become a big part of my new setup. When I say new setup, I mean not everything new, but I have really made quite a bit of changes. I've got a lot of stuff now growing on the tree fern, you know, various different ways, and I've got a lot of faith in this stuff. I've been using it for about 5 months now, and it just seems like a fantastic media. Another thing that I'm really enjoying is the synthetic sphagnum moss. I've got some live moss attached to this. I did it when I mounted it, some of my forest moss from my tray down there in the depths, and I've got it right on this bark. This is a gastrocylus. It's throwing new roots out. The roots that it had have maintained, and again, it dries out nicely. I can have a nice wet dry cycle depending on how much of the stuff I use. I can keep it moist depending on how much of it I use, and the plants really do, so far, seem to love it. I will say it dries a bit quicker than the zombie moss, so that's something you're going to have to keep in mind. The tree fern has so many interesting properties. Again, we will go over that in a separate video, but it really is good stuff so far, guys. I really have been enjoying it. So moving on a little bit more, let's look at some plants. You know, things have really been going well. I've got lots of new arrivals again, things that you haven't even seen yet. Even more new medias that we're experimenting with. We will talk about all that in a future video coming soon. I have potted up some stuff new, also more new medias, and again, things are just really growing great. All the gifts from people. There's the green bean from Justin. It's doing great. That's the rest of my Dyneema polybulbin right there on its new mount. New plant from Andy's that I don't think you guys have seen yet. Everything is just going really well. Something really impressive. Now this I wasn't sure about. I really wasn't sure about this combination, especially being a Cattleya type going on tree fern. This is a thicker piece, but will you look at that. This is the Cattleya nobilior amaliae that Daryl sent me a couple months back. It was in a pot. He said it would go great on a mount, and I stuck it on this piece of tree fern with a little bit of that synthetic on it. I let it dry really good between waterings, and so far, I mean, this thing has been awesome. I did have actually some mealybugs or some scale on this plant. That's why that leaf is going. I didn't catch it right away, so probably going to lose that leaf, but the new growth is unaffected, and look at all those roots. So very exciting. Again, everything that has gone on the tree fern, everything that has gone on with the synthetic. There's another Cattleya type that Daryl sent. That's the luteola, I believe. It's starting to throw new roots like mad on that synthetic, on that bark. So really good examples of healthy plants doing their thing. I do have some blooms to share with you guys before we get out of here. This is my first ever orchid. It is starting to fade its very first bloom, but it has got several other beautiful ones. I genuinely do love this plant. Really happy it finally was healthy enough to be able to let bloom again. I'm probably going to sacrifice the spike soon and go from there. The Phalaenopsis Pulcherima next to it, this was struggling a bit. I had some insect issues or something. I put the Bayer 3-in-1 on it. I think it caused some issues. That's the systemic. It didn't really knock the plant back too bad. It's producing some really nice new roots. I knocked the pot over, so that's why there's media all over the ground right there. I still have to clean up. And this was also included now in a new media experiment. My obsession with tree fern continues, guys, and I am trying the potted version as well in some of my mixes. This is a terrestrial Phalaenopsis, so I have a very terrestrial mix thrown in this pot now. which again we will talk about in a media video, exclusive media video, very, very soon. Hello, Sheba. She's making her appearance. While we're looking at her, we can look at my mess of a grow room. This right here is boxes of new media to go on with the media discussion. Little sneak peek there, but we are now back to the plants. I told you guys I've been busy. This plant down here in the shade, in the shadows, that is Bulbaphyllum Lepidum. It actually put on a beautiful showing. It bloomed. It had 5 or 6 blooms open, and they're only open for like 2 or 3 days, so I completely missed it. I did get some pictures of it. Thankfully, I will be able to share with you guys. If they're not up on the screen already, they will be soon. But yeah, it did. It surprised me. It put on a nice showing, and I am really excited about that. It's gonna get a little bit of a rest now. Not too harsh of a rest, but it will definitely stay a little bit drier for the next few months, and it will start to grow very, very strong again here and continue to take over that mount that it's on. Our Dendrobium Rotostictum is still doing really, really well. I mean it, guys, this is one of the longest lasting blooms in this entire grow tent. I couldn't be more happy to have it, or thankful to be able to grow this plant. Really, really is a beauty. Pushing in a little farther, we have got this awesome little Collagenate incrustata. That thing has opened up its next bloom. They are sequential bloomers, so this is the second flower on this awesome little spike. Zooming up again, we'll take another quick look at this. This is the Dendrobium violaceum blue, but again, I think it's the pink variety. And it's not quite fully open, but it is starting to show off just a little bit. It looks a lot like Cyanum, but considerably larger. Let's see, pulling out, what else do we have? We have lots and lots of pinguicula blooms. I guess we'll come down here. No, we're going to have to go up here. Lots of ping blooms. Actually, this back here is a newbie. This is Pinguicula gigantea. It's finally blooming for me. And all these others are just randomly spread out through there. Doing really nice. And yeah, I think that's going to cover it, guys. That's about all there is to really talk about. Again, things are growing strong. It is hot and heavy into the winter season, so lots and lots of things have been changing. Lots of plants are starting to do their thing that are, you know, more preferable to this weather. And one of them is behind me. So we are going to take a nice look at one last bloom on our way out as I sign out. And let me tell you, it is absolutely worth it. This plant right here came to me in bloom, and the bloom had faded. It was acquired in the summertime. This is my Dracula Andretea, and I am pleased to say that it's put out several spikes, and one of them has made it. This bloom is just as big as it looks. I mean, biggest bloom yet, I think, in my tent. It's probably a solid 9 or 10 inches from tip to tip, and sorry, it is just as weird. Oh gosh, don't break it. It is just as weird and wonderful as any Dracula bloom that you will ever see. Great little face, lots and lots of detail, lots of fuzz, almost like a leopard-like spotting. And this is the real reason we're making this video today, because I refuse to let you guys miss this like we missed the Bulbaphyllum. I really hate doing that, guys, sorry. But again, I am avidly looking for a place to live, so I have lots and lots of content shot. This video is going to look like we're going into the future once we go back to some of my other content, but I tell you what, it's going to be worth it. Flushing time today. We're going to be flushing mounts and getting things ready, hopefully, to move them in the next month. Thanks as always for watching. Thanks for your continued patience and always for your support and everything else. I do have lots and lots of big plans, so this may be honestly one of the last big updates we do inside this tent, if things go well. I'm hoping to upgrade my setup here as well in the next month or so, hopefully by the new year. So that's all for now, guys. Take care. As always, please stay safe, and until next time, happy growing. Please don't forget to check out my social media pages. Again, I'm super busy. I haven't been posting a lot on there lately, but I do have lots of cool stuff to come. I have been taking pictures and videos and all kinds of stuff. I just have not had quite enough time to get it all on there quite yet. But lots of cool things to come, guys. Again, thank you so much. Hope you're having a great weekend so far and a great holiday season. I hope you enjoyed this little update video. And yeah, until next time, stay safe and happy growing.